This is a short biography of Renzo Novatore, the pen name of Abele Rizzieri Ferrari, an Italian individualist anarchist, a legalist, anti-fascist, poet, philosopher and militant. He was close friends with Enzo Martucci and Bruno Filippi and was born in Arcola, Italy, a village of La Spezia, on the 12th of May 1890 to a poor peasant family. Unwilling to adapt to scholastic discipline, he only attended a few months of the first grade of grammar school and then left school forever. Though his father forced him to work on the farm, his strong will and thirst for knowledge led him to become a self-taught poet and philosopher. Exploring these matters outside the limits imposed by the educational system, as a youth he read Max Stirner, Friedrich Nietzsche, Oscar Wilde, Ibsen, Baudelaire, Schopenhauer, and many others, with a critical mind. From 1908 onwards he considered himself an anarchist. As a young man he joined the Arcola group of anarcho-communists, but he was not satisfied with their vision of a new society that they awaited so eagerly. He told them, quote, "I am with you in destroying the tyranny of existing society, but when you have done this and begun to build anew, then I will oppose you and go beyond you." End quote. In 1910 he was charged with the burning of a local church and spent 3 months in prison, though his participation in the fire was never proven. A year later he went on the run for several months because the police wanted him for theft and robbery. On the 30th of September 1911 the police arrested him for vandalism. Novatore justified refusal of work, and he thought, in his own personal philosophy of life, that he had the right to expropriate from the rich what he needed for his daily survival, and using force wasn't a problem for him. In 1914 he began to write for anarchist papers. He was drafted during the First World War and deserted his regiment on the 26th of April 1918 and was sentenced to death by a military tribunal for desertion and high treason on the 31st of October. He left his village and went on the run, propagating the armed uprising against the state. In May 1919 the city of La Spezia fell under control of a self-proclaimed revolutionary committee, and he fought alongside it. On the 30th of June 1919, Novatore was hidden in a hut in the country near the city of Sarzana. A farmer told the police about him, and he was sentenced to 10 years in prison, but was released in a general amnesty a few months later. In 1920 the police arrested him again for an armed assault on an arms depository at the naval barracks in Val di Fornola. Several months later he was free and participated in another insurrectionary endeavour that failed because of a snitch. In the summer of 1922, 3 trucks full of fascists stopped in front of his home where he lived with his wife and 2 sons. The fascists surrounded the house, but Novatore used self-made grenades against them and was able to escape. He went underground one more time. By the early 1920s, Italy was about to be taken over by fascism. Novatore decided to go underground, and in 1922 he joined the gang of the famous robber of anarchist inspiration, Sante Pilastro. On the 29th of November 1922, Novatore and his comrade Sante Pilastro went into a tavern in Teglia. 3 carabinieri, Italian military police, followed them inside. When the 2 anarchists tried to leave, the carabinieri began shooting. This was a police ambush. The warrant officer killed Novatore, but was then killed by Pilastro. 1 carabinieri ran away, and the last begged Pilastro for mercy. Pilastro escaped without shooting him. Renzo Novatore wrote for many anarchist papers where he debated with other anarchists. among them Camillo Berneri. He published a magazine, Vertici, which has unfortunately been lost. His most well-known pieces of writing are The Revolt of the Unique and Toward the Creative Nothing. And I'll leave a link in the description to the collected writings of Renzo Novatore, which is available to read for free on the Anarchist Library website. Thank you for listening, everyone. All the best.